Welcome back to the Daily News. With me now is Dr. Debi Lynes, who, as you know, is one of our dear friends, colleagues, and hosts here on WHHI-TV. And we have a very special guest. His name is Matteo Esposito. And we're talking mental health. We're talking about the stigma of mental health. People don't talk about it.
They don't.
And why don't they talk about it?
Well, I think what we're going to talk about today is that oftentimes behind happy faces is an invisible challenge. And Matteo, you can speak to that because you and your college friends have worked a lot with invisible challenges.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been a long process, but it started actually at a school project at Wesleyan with a roommate of mine and a hockey teammate and my best friend. We wanted to make a dent in the stigma that surrounds mental health. People don't talk about it, and this might sound harsh, but people are dying because they are putting on a smile.
That's right.
And they're faking it, and they're going about their day like everything's okay, and it's not. And there's a stigma surrounding mental health, and people don't talk about it enough.
And so that stigma it still continues, and so this invisible challenge that you started at school, and would you say it's helped? I mean, has it helped you?
Yeah.
And is it helping your friends? How?
Exactly, and I think to that point, let me say this, I think what we're really talking about when I talk about invisible challenge is depression, anxiety, substance use and abuse, feeling great, feeling lousy. It's really everything, and I think for so many of these kids, they don't show it, is it embarrassing, is it... Do I feel guilt or shame?
Yeah.
I mean, what made you and a lot of your friends, once they started opening up the lines of communication,
was it just like a floodgate?
Yeah,
Matteo?
tell us.
I would say right away it wasn't like a massive impact. I think it's just chipping away, kind of starting conversations, being open. And our goal with my roommate was to make a very small dent, maybe in our community. But, it's hard to see those directly and right away, but I would say it's helped me immensely. We've had a few teammates after we, did our project and say, geez, I've been struggling with this for years. Thank you so much for doing that. And I would say one person struggling, helping others without parallel, and that's helped me so much.
So athletes, is it very common with athletes because they're under so much pressure?
Yeah, I mean, anxiety definitely can be higher. I think it's, the biggest part is athletes, especially male athletes, are taught to be tough, and it's in the culture. And you can't use that mindset in a mental health because you do need to have the courage to get help, but you cannot tough out a mental illness. It's not like, working out. It's different. You need to exercise your brain, but you need help and to admit that and seek out help.
And one of the things you and I talk about all the time is don't ever confuse emotion with weakness.
Right.
Emotion means you care. And we have these emotions, and we can have big emotions or small emotions, but we have emotions whether you're, a hockey player or a grandmother of 10. And it doesn't mean we're weak or strong. We're just trying to get through them and manage them.
So, Matteo, what I would like you to do is if there's anyone out there struggling with what we've talked about, these issues, what would you tell them? What would you tell them at this moment? Where do they turn?
Yeah, I think the last part of your question is a very difficult answer, but I would say one message is just you're not alone. And that is so challenging to hear when you feel so lonely, but I think just knowing that it will get better, challenging those negative beliefs and that negative thinking, and just talking to one person, doing anything you can, because like I said, this is fatal if not arrested, and people don't realize that. So just knowing you're not alone, and there is hope if you ask the right people and get the right help.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing, and I love this invisible challenge. And Debi, for you bringing Matteo to us. I know.
It's wonderful. Well, hopefully we'll have you back again. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that are going on. Thank you for having us on.
Yes, on our Mind Your Health segment. Matteo
Thank you so much.
And, of course, Dr. Debi Lynes. And we'll be right back with more news.